Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody is good. Yeah. I hope everybody is good. I hope everybody is proper. It's been a while. It's been a while. But yeah, we back at it, and we're knocking the ball out the park this year. I feel very good for this year. With the sweet spot indicator, last year, we ended off the year on a high note, with using it, and I believe this year we're just gonna understand it better. Especially that we pushed to a point we were getting very good win rates, especially had how I look at it. So I do have hope for this year. I think this year is going to be interesting. But then I also need to see who's around this year, who's not around. We had some changes. All right, we had some switch arounds. Uh, yeah, those are the politics I don't wanna get into now, but there are a couple of changes that are gonna come in place. But as for the SMC side of things, we won't be attacking things that way. But very interesting year, starting with gold, seeing that gold is like in uncharted territory, making all-time highs. But let's see how we get to kill it this year. And for those of you guys who don't know, gold performed excellently last year, busy going up, but I'll tell you the secret's in silver. Whether as to not silver will continue, it's amazing uptrend, is a question for another day, but I do believe, come on, I'm not at the calendar. I do believe that we'll see a much stronger, or we can see. It doesn't necessarily have to be gold, but I think this year we will continue to see commodities rising, especially against the dollar. So it would be very interesting to see, especially now, like I said, that we are in uncharted territory when it comes to gold. So even tomorrow, it will be very interesting to see how CPI plays out. So I'm on here the trading view calendar, and I can see that this week, I know a lot of people. So CPI is tomorrow, right? Which from that I already knew off the bat, looking at how trend behaved, especially after, or how the dollar behaved, especially after NFP. So it's one of those that I'm watching it, and so far we are looking at a weak dollar for PPI. So not PPI, CPI. So it's for me, the positions that I'm more interested in is buy GBP USD, sell USD JPY, sell USD XAR, buy gold, So especially because, like I said, guys, that the gold chart is at an all-time high, and the thing is, we keep on making all-time highs. And funny enough, I have one of my friends whom I started trading with. He's since taken a bit of a break from the market. He's not totally off, but he messages me the other day, and he's like, bro, I hear gold is at 4,000 something something, and which is quite a crazy price considering that when we started trading, it was nowhere near 4,000. It was ranging at about like 2,000, 1000, yeah, when he was still trading, it was like still at like 1900, 2000 or so. And when him and I started trading, gold prices were trading at about like 1100, between 1000 and 1300. So when he got a hold of this news, he was very perplexed. So we that's why I'm like, gold is at a really crazy price right now, considering that, like I said, guys, an all-time high. And so for PPI, CPI, it would be quite interesting to see what happens. Sorry, I'm just seeing messages here. I just want to see what everybody is saying. Sorry. Um, all right, all right. So guys, as I always say, if you don't have the trading view indicator, please send us your PXID on 0737670745 on our WhatsApp, and we will give you access to it. Right. I don't want to lie to you about NASDAQ on CPI because I don't trade indices at all, right? So if I do trade them, it's just for fun, but I'll never go and advise anyone on indices because it's not my thing. And then PPI coming through on Wednesday, that's another big one that people are gonna look at. So if we don't see our bulls, here's the thing, right? Normally two it will be a buy sell or a sell buy when it comes to NFP, is CPI and PPI. So for now, I am watching, and the overall sentiment, right, for the dollar is a weak dollar, but those in my signal group, I will give you a good heads up tomorrow when we go and look at it. But I don't want to lie to anyone and be like, for NASDAQ or for US 30 or for what we can expect. But yeah, guys, let's go over to the charts, have a look at the charts. My co-host, or my usual co-host, isn't here today. Like I said, that my new, we are gonna be having a few changes, so I can't guarantee whether or not he'll be coming back to this. But looking at this, guys, just looking already last year, very bullish year for GBP USD, as opposed to the year before, where we had bulls come in and then at the end of the year they ended it there. But if you remember, and you can rewind back to the Monday market mappings that we did, explaining what we were looking at. So what we saw last year was nothing unusual. And I think that for the rest of this year, we'll continue to see the trend that we saw last year, which predominantly we saw buying GBP USD. That happened quite a lot last year. So we'll continue to monitor that, and then, like I said, that for this week's fundamentals, then I'll just continue on that overall bias, because when we look at it, we see that, okay, it's going there. Last week we smashed NFP. The people who are in my group, we smashed NFP, and so that's why I'm looking for buys this week, because overall the dollar sentiment is still a weak dollar. But last week we just had to change nyana, but then you saw that even after that news came out, it wasn't a big movement, it was it was a very small funny movement. But GBP USD, I'll be a buyer for this week, especially when it comes to the fundamental events, which CPI is happening at 3:30. And then Euro JPY, sorry about that. Euro JPY. Right. So also last year, and this is something that was discussed 2024 after they broke all-time highs, guys. We did indicate that we can see a potential upside in 2025, and 2025 went through and went and created even more highs than that. So the only concern that I have right now with this is it's been extremely bullish. It's been buying for a very long time. So I do believe that the correction, once a correction takes place, it will come and we will see a significant retracement, maybe about like 2, 3, 4 months of pullbacks, because last year you see we only had like one bearish month, and then even though this looked a bit bearish, but then we saw that there was indecision, bulls, indecision. They broke the high. So it is suggesting that the market is suggesting that we are making higher highs, and that potentially that this can go even higher than where it is right now. But again, when we're going to be buyers, we just want to be buyers in a very cautious manner. I think we can see that momentum slowed down over there, and it's really a case of I'll look at these zones of not support, of resistance, right? I'll look at these zones, and sorry, I know I drew out of support here, but I'll look at these zones of resistance this week. And if we break above the high, then we can continue to see them climbing higher. But there is a possibility that this week we'll get into this region over here between 184,700 and 184,900. We'll get in between that region. And if we start seeing bears come in, so sell candles come in, then I'll go ahead and join them on those sells there and just start smacking on the sells to go down. Because again, very, very bullish behavior. But then we know that markets have overbought and oversold conditions. So even as I pull out the relative strength index over here, sorry, relative strength index. Right, so again, relative strength index, it tells us whether we overbought or oversold. So even on a monthly chart, when we look at a monthly chart, Euro JPY is overbought. When we look at a weekly chart, Euro JPY is overbought. When we look at a daily chart, they just came out of an overbought condition, right? And this is what I was talking about, is that the pressure is going down, because we can see, if we can just have a look here at bottom at the RSI, we can see that there is some sort of divergence. It's not really that hectic, but we can see that overall this is every time it comes to a high place, it's coming down. So there is a bit of what we call the divergence over there, bearish divergence, just to show us that, look, as much as this market, still buyers are in control, but buyers are losing the power quite significantly. So that's why overall for me, I'm in a position where I'm waiting for the bears to come in and we'll go, but it's still a bullish market. So you'll still see more predominant buys predominantly so, but then again, you will see more buys predominantly so, but then again, we can expect for sells to come in, and sells to come in quite aggressively, because again, when we look year on year, we add an overbought condition, and we can see that every time we get into a bit of an overbought condition, we've seen dips coming through. 2023, we saw that. 2024, we saw that, although it fought us a bit, but now it's like really overbought. So even as you'll be a buyer, just be very careful there. And like I say, that rather invest yourself into selling opportunities on Euro JPY, buying opportunities on GBP USD. And then gold, I'll be looking for buying opportunities on gold. because again, the dollar has been across all currency pairs showing weakness. If you guys know, I always talk about using the light forex index in order to look at what a currency is doing. So even there, I'm seeing signs of a weak dollar. So that's why for CPI and PPI, I'm looking for selling the dollar, which means I'll buy gold, I'll buy GBP, USD. And then also USD ZAR. So I don't trade it, but as you guys know from last year, I really started taking an interest in the analysis aspect of it. And so I do think that we can see a bit more bears to take control this year because we have been getting into, and let me just bring up my shapes rectangle. We have been seeing that every time and this is a COVID high, right? So the worst the rand has ever been was during COVID, right? And every time we get to that high, right, we really like move away. And this year we had a big rejection candle to be like, we're not feeling that, and it's been moving down. So I'm looking for movement to the downside, and hopefully we can see some aggressive moves to the downside where initially, and can I just look at that? That was a place of, so we can see a flat 16 rand, and we might find support there and move higher. Or we could go down and see ourselves being at like a 14 rand, 15, 14, 13 over here. And the reason why I say that, again, we know that the rand has been manipulated to being weak, right? The rand has been manipulated into being weak. So I do think that overall they're going to try correct that. They are going to try to correct that. It might not be an overnight process, right? As also it losing so much value was not an overnight process. So also gaining strength, I don't think that we'll see it as an overnight process, right? But we'll see it happen over time. Gold, buddy, to yes, you did, but to summarize it, it's an uncharted territory. It's an all-time high. The dollar, when we look at the dollar alone, it is showing weak behavior. So for the next fundamental news, CPI, PPI, we can expect to see gold continue to climb prices, but as to where it would go, I don't want to lie, but it is really crazy the way it's moving up right now. And again, like I say, the tip is watch out for silver. Actually, let's just bring up a silver chart over there. But silver was the highest performing, most powerful commodity. Let's see, the most powerful commodity. It was the strongest metal commodity and all of that all over. I mean, it did over 170% movement now. So also when it comes to silver, when I look at silver on a 4 hour, on a daily, on a 4 hour, it looks like it's going up. So I would also be a silver. I'll also be a silver buyer. I'm gonna trade it just for the fun of it on CPI, but then this year again, I do think that I'll pay a bit more attention to silver. Looking at how it outperformed every single asset class last year by more than 100%. But yeah, guys, that's it. Again, quick summary: Euro JPY. We're seeing bearish divergence overall. It is at an extremely overbought conditions. So you'd rather find yourself being committed on the sell setups, although it's still in a buy trend, but you'd rather commit more money to those sell setups. GBP USD, I'm going to be looking for buys this week. All right. Well, silver, I just said buys. Silver, gold, looking for buys on the precious metals. USDs are looking for sells. I don't trade that much. But then again, with that being said, then probably for fundamentals, not overall, but for fundamentals, we can look at selling USD JPY when the CPI and PPI get released. But yes, guys, all the best for this week. Let's knock the ball out the park. Remember, CPI is tomorrow. So do be careful when trading the dollar tomorrow, and keep in the back of your mind that CPI is there. But this is the first, and thank you for coming through. It's always a pleasure for you guys to come through. Let's kill it this year. Let's knock the ball out the park, and happy trading. All the best for this week. Danko.